Okay.
Welcome. My name is Paula Bell, and I'm happy to welcome you to my studio at Caseworks at 210 East Pierce Street. I'm very fortunate to have this space. I've been thinking about the kinds of questions people usually ask me at a show. So I thought I'd share with you some of the answers of unspoken questions. How did I begin to do this work? Well, I had been drawing and painting most of my life, no instruction. It was just something that I liked to do. I seemed to have an ability to do it. And I always wanted to work with clay. I tried working in metal, but as you can imagine, that's 180 degrees from something as malleable as clay. We were living in Chicago, and there was a woman named Jean Julin, who I think she's passed on, a terrific artist, bronze work, life-size and bigger, and gave lessons in her basement, actually, as to how to work with clay and not blow up the kiln. So I went and spent some time with her, and I remember her saying to me when she saw my first little piece, "This is something you always wanted to do, right?" And I said, "Right." At any rate, I began showing my work in Chicago, and then we moved back east to Wilmington, Delaware, and I went back to my day job, which was teaching 5th grade. And for almost 20 years, I didn't touch clay again. When I retired in 2004 from teaching, I had to go back to clay. I just had to. But I wasn't sure I'd be able to do the kind of work I had been doing before. But finally, I just said, I've got to start working. I've got to start sculpting. I was painting little tiles, which is not quite as satisfying. And I came in one day to this community studio, and I just started working. And really, this is the first piece that I did when I went back to work. And kind of tells you how frustrated I was at the time. But it was something that I knocked out pretty quickly, and I treasure it. That was the beginning back. Now, I didn't work in clay when I first started, which was in the 80s, the early 80s. I worked in clay that was a dark brown or red sometimes. And I began working in color when I went back to work, I retired in 2004. And so people also want to know, what is this material? Well, I now work in porcelain, which is my preferred material because it's very smooth. And I am actually out of clay. This was the last remnant. I'm waiting for an order. But it literally starts with just a plain, this is rolled out, and I'll show you the slab roller in a minute, but it starts with just a piece of this material, which is porcelain clay. Clay comes in a lot of different forms, and I can't tell you the percentage of which material porcelain is, this particular porcelain, but it's very smooth. There's no texture to it at all. So anyway, that's where it starts. Now that particular piece of porcelain, as this one was too, is rolled out on my slab roller. This machine, and you can roll a slab with something as simple as this and 2 strips of wood, but this, to be lucky to have this, that's great, because this can get old doing it that way, and it doesn't come out as well. So the pieces are hand formed from that material to maybe the slab roller, or depending on what the piece is, and I'll come back to this machine in a minute. But this piece, for example, started with a slab, and then the rest of these pieces were hand formed and attached. The face, of course, was sculpted separately and slipped in to the body of the piece. And all the rest of these have been hand formed. There's no molds. It all starts with that lump. And various things come from that. People say, where do you get your ideas? Well, like that piece I showed you, my first piece when I started back, they really come from my heart and soul. It sounds cliched that art comes from, you know, your emotions or whatever, but it's really true. They're a reflection of who I am and what I'm feeling. So at any rate, this was slab formed, and then these other things, each fish was individually formed, added on. The texture was sculpted, added onto the slab. This was not slab formed. This was just a lump of clay that I hand formed and then sculpted the seahorses separately and then attached them by technique of slipping and scoring. So there's a variety of texture. That's kind of what I'm known for, is the texture and the colors. Although, turning this way, this piece, right now I've kind of changed direction. I'm doing more of these flat reliefs. I literally draw on the slab of clay, and I'll be doing less color, I think. I'm going to be experimenting with that. What else do people ask? I don't know. I think I've covered everything. So at any rate, if you would like to come and see these things, ask more of your questions that I haven't covered, I'd be delighted to answer your questions. Even in this COVID environment, we can wear masks and stay socially distant. I'm at 210 East Pier Street. My husband Norman will also be exhibiting tomorrow, Sunday, and I will leave my business cards with him. But 210 East Pier Street, phone number 302-530-3978, 302-530-3978. And if you just want to come and look around and get more information, I mean, that's what I do at shows, is share information with people. And that's what makes the shows worthwhile. People's interest, they're wanting to know about the medium, about the work. And so hopefully I've answered most of the questions, but if not, just come see me. Thank you.
Thank you.